Would you like a cup? Head, sir?
Only if you are the one giving head. That came out wrong, sorry.
Good night, buddy.
Headshot cam.
How sad.
Welcome everyone to a brand spanking new MADPlay, or fellow Bravers, or our Let's Play series, if you will, of Cuphead, which is 1 year old, the smash hit story success of 2017, and one of the most interesting games to talk about, period. If you are like me, or like us, which is to say animation fans, or in my particular case, animation scholar. Because yes, I've held lectures and I will never let you forget about that.
Anyway, the main reason we're playing Cuphead really is mainly to test out my new recording setup mainly, so we'll probably only be doing one session of this essentially.
Yes, I would have to concur with that. I believe this might be just one solo session of Cuphead, but not for the reasons Devar just said, mostly because this game is notoriously nightmarishly hard, and Devar has only just started playing this.
Yeah.
So, yes.
So it's trial and errors abound essentially when it comes to me playing this game.
I'm mostly going to be here playing the backseat driver to talk about the source material and inspiration of Cuphead, which is 1930s rubber hose animation style, specifically of the likes of Fleischer Studios.
Let's just get into the game, yeah. For options, just to show it off a bit, I have it all at full. Visuals, you can actually make the color bleed higher or lower.
You should leave the settings as they are when it comes to the presentation, because it's a very calculated presentation.
That's why I kind of did leave it alone. I just basically mainly tested it out to see what the differences were. But
I just love it. It looks like a wore-down copy of a classic colored cartoon. It's akin to watching the Cobweb Hotel short from 1936.
It's a detail I really like, the fact that basically they have all these scratches and
rains
and all that basically makes it look like you're watching an old cartoon.
It's the intended aesthetic, and it's the intended homage, after all.
Yeah.
It's not just a very general homage either. This game, as I've seen before, features very specific references to very specific motions and characters that existed in the pantheon of Fleischer Studios and other such contemporaries from that decade.
Yeah. You can actually see it says 1930 there in the corner of the, the game selection here.
Yes, because in kayfabe we are pretending it's an actual cartoon character from the 1930s.
Yeah, which is nice.
So what should we do, Devar? Should we start from the beginning, or should we proceed the game from where we left off? As in, where you left it off.
I was basically planning on continuing from where I left off, really, because everybody knows the story, most likely, if they've seen it, essentially.
Yes, the story is early 1930s at its finest. Yeah. Basically, we are fighting the devil.
Yeah.
Or rather, we are working for the devil to pay off a gambling debt, because Every cartoon character from the time was either gambling, stealing, or getting drunk.
Yeah. So essentially, Cuphead decided to go off to the casino, got duped into a bet that essentially put him into the devil's hands, along with
Yes.
Mugman, even though Mugman was all like, oh, well, geez, no, we shouldn't be, you know, betting such a high price. Sort of.
Don't be such a blanket, Mugman!
Okay, so last time I was playing this game, I just beat the two frogs who are essentially a reference to Ryu.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. There's a little coin guy here.
Harumph! I'll be a monkey's ankle if I'm putting my moolah in the bank. For all I know, the devil probably controls the place too. You wouldn't be wrong about that.
Yeah.
They'll never get a hold of my gold if I spread it all around. And if some Joe happens to find a coin or two, good for him. Okay, your logic has some flaws. That's what I say. Harumph. This reminds me of that confidence propaganda cartoon starring Oswald the Lucky Rabbit.
Yeah. By the way, I love the detail that basically in certain places you can actually see his smile. It looks very silly.
Yes.
Also, I'm gonna show off this fish lady over here because she's fishing.
Yes, that's not weird or anything.
So I hear you fellas gave some of them ghosts what for. Glad someone finally sorted them out. Might make the fishing here better. Then again, might not.
So, in case you're not familiar with the cartoons of the period that are being indeed referenced here. Oh, and by the way, great job with the sound department there. I can hear the moments in which the soundtrack just gives up because the vinyl record seems to be damaged and scratched.
Yeah. Actually, this is the only place I have not done yet before I can get down
let's
here.
do that one. It has a boss that I want to talk about.
Floral Fury.
Cagney Carnation in Floral Fury.
I love the old-timey copyright MCMXXX thing and logos there.
They are going all out with the attention for details, and I appreciate that.
I love it myself. Really...
Oh, and by the way, yes, you have to play it with a regular difficulty, otherwise you don't get access to the final boss.
Yeah, I always do that.
Yeah! Okay, that movement, that motion that the flower does with his hands, that's a direct reference to that one ghost from Swing You Sinners. And again, if you're not familiar with these types of cartoons and animation history, they were notoriously out of their melon. They valued complete and utter surrealism, surreal nonsense over making sense or plot structure. They had plenty of musical numbers and downright psychedelia.
Yeah, pretty much.
So it had an aggressive style that aggressively made itself notorious for that.
Oh, I did not realize he was going to do that. Extreme pollination and total domination.
Because of that, I feel that the transliteration into a run and gun, nightmarishly hard horizontal shooter game like this one is an appropriate one for the classic Fleischer Studios rubber hose cartoons of the 1930s.
Yeah.
It most certainly captures the chaotic nature of them.
It definitely does. By the way, all these bosses do this. They basically have this little aside against you for losing against them. And they all go in rhyme as well.
And they also tell you in which point you died, how distant you were from winning.
Yeah, as you can see, I was really past the halfway point already.
Yes, you were doing quite well, actually. I've seen people doing much worse than that.
It requires trial and error gameplay. I'm quite used to it from the Super Nintendo era.
Yes, I would never have the patience to do this kind of game, and that's why I didn't actually get this game when it came out the first time. I wish this one was a cartoon rather than a video game, so I could just watch it without having to play it.
Bugger, I should really know when he's doing that. Because you have to look for the tells that the bosses do. as per usual when it comes to these things. Whoa.
Yeah.
Fools who attempt to fight this will leave with allergic rhinitis.
Yep.
Yep.
You know, I'm really happy you started off with this boss, because I did get the opportunity to tell you about Swing You Sinners.
I actually do remember that being covered because I was such a lover of... I should have not done that. I was such a
Maybe you
lover
need to
of...
pay attention.
It's very hard to do that sometimes, because this game, while it's... my attention is taken by one thing, and then another thing basically decides to come up.
And let us not forget that you have only just started playing this game, so nobody's good at video games the first time they play them.
Yeah. Whoa, that's a new one. You just did that twice.
And then it turns into a machine gun, because that's what cartoons would do.
Yeah, because surreal nonsense.
Surreal nonsense indeed. So the rubber hose style has had quite a resurgence in the past few years. You might have noticed that a lot of modern cartoons tend to have that flexible style to them. It's a callback to this style specifically, because everybody realized that the inherent flexibility of said style makes the animator's job much easier and allows for much more creative choices. If you see a show like OKKO, for example, that revels itself in how flexible and liberal it is with its own aesthetics and its own character designs, there is nothing that stays static.
Yeah. I basically intentionally looked for a video that would tell me all the references, and I would say, yeah, I watched that cartoon.
Yes.
You know, and sometimes
Of course,
I did, and sometimes I wouldn't even need to have...
You are going to want to try and get those pink candies, because they give you powerful attacks.
Right. Well, all I know about the pink ones is that basically you have to parry them in order to, not gonna fall for that one, unless you trick me.
That makes sense. I'm not falling for that, unless it's a trick. Okay, so apparently you have to slap those pink candies or pink pellets when they get towards you to get the powers.
Yeah.
And that can be a lot trying.
It is trying, especially with the fact there's so much on screen sometimes. Oh dear, missed that pink one. And of course I jumped into a blue one that basically was not on the screen at the time.
Yes, so this game would be much, much shorter if the bosses weren't so hard. But then again, the fact that the bosses are this hard is a selling point of this game for that one very specific crowd within the gaming community that likes hard games. And apparently everybody likes hard games, because this indie hit made a lot of sales. Again, for a indie hit.
Yeah. Oh, no, don't want to get hit by that. Here, have my Hadouken!
Aha! Ha! Miss me! Ha! Miss me again! Ha ha! Take that, and that, and that!
At least he's went to the lower floor. Whoa! Don't want to get hit by those. Ah!
Yeah! Yeah! It's in the final oh no!
Well, I got halfway through that form at least.
Yes, so you can tell when the boss is reaching his hand, because his form changes.
Yeah. This is going to be a weird thing for me. A lot of people find this game infuriating, but for me, this is relaxing for some reason.
Because you're a masochist?
No, because... I don't know, because I think the game itself is so charming, the music is just right, that basically it just feels more... therapeutic for me. You know, in the long
Okay,
run.
well, we found out something about the bar tonight.
Yeah, usually I'd be more annoyed at certain things or infuriated by certain things in hard games. Dark Souls being one of them.
Dark Souls does not appeal to me in the slightest. Can you believe the amount of people that still to this day say, hey, this game is the Dark Souls of blank. Hey,
Yes.
this game is as hard as Dark Souls. Hey, Cuphead is basically Dark Souls. Oh my gosh.
I know, Crash Bandicoot is Dark Souls.
Have you never played a Mega Man game?
Apparently not. But, damn. I really
No, never
should've-
mind played. Have you ever seen a Mega Man game, I would like to say
I mean,
and ask.
Mega Man 11 seems to have kept with the Mega Man feel, from what I've seen.
Yes, that's not the point I was trying to make, but yes, okay, sure, if you want to change argument.
I should have realised, but I was too busy looking up at the other things.
Yes, there is a lot of elements to keep track in these BC
Yeah, which
stages.
I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing.
I think you can actually aim up and down, you know?
I know, I can do that. I've been doing that actually.
You haven't done that the last time the flower just tried to crush you by prolonging his face.
Hoopla!
Aha,
Dang
aha, eat my nuts! Haha!
it! Eat my seeds.
You really needed it? I just love that motion with the hands.
Yeah, it's very classy.
It's classy and classic. Speaking of classics, King Dice, the iconic villain from this game, King Dice, is inspired from legendary jazz singer Cab Calloway, which notoriously did a lot of songs for the Fleischer Studios and also lent his own shape to the rotoscoping machine back in the day. He was a phantom walrus in Minnie the Moocher.
Yeah.
He was also Coco the Clown in that Snow White short, still a Betty Boop cartoon.
Yeah.
And he was also the Old Man on the Mountain in Old Man on the Mountain.
I actually knew he was a jazz singer, but I actually forgot his name when.
Cab Calloway. You
yeah.
might remember him more vividly for his cameo and appearance in the Blues Brothers, when he actually sang Minnie the Moocher.
Yeah. Whoo! Hey!
Etc. Hidey, 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 ho!
Hidey, 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 oh.
Hidey, 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 ho! Oh, you've got it. Come on, you can do it. I believe in you.
Oh, he's got.
He's
Turning. I went into the bad place.
So
Nope.
there is a power-up for the pellet in which you can shoot a slightly less powerful version of that, but it aims automatically at the bad guy,
Yeah, I would
no
have
matter
to.
where you're facing.
Oh, fuck up. Let's see if. Oh, I should have moved.
Oh, you
Oh.
were so close!
So
No!
close!
That is... Oh, that is such a killjoy. Wallop! Hey, it's my character from the D&D campaign! Yes, Wallop Wallaby would fit right amiably in this world.
Yeah, he definitely would.
So Cuphead himself is such a savvy mixture of characters from the period. He has the upper body torso of Mickey Mouse,
Yeah.
and he is an animated object like many, many other objects in cartoons back in the day. In fact, I
Yeah.
believe that the inspiration for Cuphead, specifically the character of Cuphead, comes from a obscure Japanese propaganda cartoon
Oh yeah, that
from the
one.
1930s, yes. Where the Japanese fight off the evil Mickey Mouse invasion. I kid you not. It's quite a treasure.
Dang it! I missed my spot.
Yes. Sir, you're in my spot, sir.
Okay.
Swing you sinners. When he does that, shoot below.
I have to take a look if I can shoot below, because I know you can shoot, you know, up and diagonal, but yeah, you can only duck and shoot.
Oh, well, that's too bad. Aha! Uh-oh. Again, eat my nuts.
It's
Fifth time today you eat my nuts.
Oh, wait.
You're always eating my nuts.
Oh wait, okay, I was doing a bit of experimentation, but yeah, I can shoot down if I lock Cuphead in place.
Ah, I told you.
Yeah,
Aha!
it's just that I have to do it in a specific way.
So for obvious reasons, playing Cuphead does not make for a very entertaining Let's Play, because you tend to be stuck on the same stage multiple times, and eventually you're going to run out of things to say and topics to discuss.
Yeah. Oh!
Well, not us, though. Hey! Did you know
Oh! We got him!
that you just won?
Look how his eyes just, like,
Oh,
completely
no!
gone inside his skull.
Aha!
Do not,
I just love it.
do not expect a perfect score, guys.
The important thing is that you won. Hey! A minus is not bad.
No, it's not bad at all. Usually I get between A or B in this game.
Yes, well, I just love how characters back in the day would not stop bouncing on place.
Yeah. Hey, Cagney Carnation's contract. This was the Three Stooges boss.
Yes,
Which is-
well, essentially.
Yeah, that's what they act like, but... okay. Here's where Elder Kettle lives.
Hey, let's go visit him.
Oh yes, he's a lovely gent. You know, he actually gave us the tutorial, which was nice of him. And
Remember to collect all the soul contracts, Cuphead. It's your only way out of servitude to the Dark One. So your way out to servitude is to serve.
yeah,
That makes sense.
I actually like how he laughs, you know, for dialogue if you listen.
Yes, I've listened to it.
It sounds very demonic to me.
Cuphead, go out there and get me pictures of Spider-Man. Hey, let's go to the shop, yes.
Yeah, we won't be able to buy anything though, sadly, but...
I just want to see the shopkeeper. Look at this lovely
I
hand.
know.
Speaking of good attention to details,
Yeah.
you all know how voice acting back in the day was a bit on the dubious side of things. We were yet to have properly established talents like Mel Blanc, and Disney was basically the only one who was putting effort in their voice works.
Yeah.
So a lot of characters back in the day in cartoons such as the Fleischer Studios or Van Buren Studios or any other studio of the time, they did not have very good voice actors.
No.
Now, the point I was going to make is that when you purchase items from the pig, he says, "Thank you," with this awfully distorted voice, which very much reflects the nature of quality of voice work
Yeah.
that those old cartoons had. And also, he just looked at the time, because you've been
Yeah.
here a while loitering, and he does not look very pleased about that.
No, he does not. By the way, speaking of the voice acting, listen to this voice when we leave the shop.
Goodbye! Yes, that's
Goodbye.
so completely on point.